Baron Silverlane and Lord Cabron have both fallen to the solo rogue, and now it is Revelosh's turn. So today we're going into Uldaman to kill Revelosh and take his shoulders. These are 12 agility, 11 stam shoulders, and they are perfect for going into Gnomer. Now I know the first question I'm going to get is what gear do I have, so I'm going to go through my gear and my build. If you want to skip to the run, I'll have chapters in place to do that, so you can skip ahead. But for gear, I'm mostly PvP gear, a couple of auction house greens. I do have the crafted helm and the epic PvP dagger, but that is far from necessary for this run. The only raid item I have is boots, and they're not much better than my previous. They do have +1 effective stealth level, so while I'm stealthing past everything, I'm going to take them off to put myself in line for people who don't have the boots and put them on at Revelosh. For runes, I'm using pink runes, just a flesh rune, blade dance, and rolling with the punches. It is doable without, but it's much easier with. For builds, I'm deep combat, going blade flurry and adrenaline rush. These are really good for this fight because A, it's cleave, and B, it's short. I'm also 5 out of 5 in lightning reflex and deflection for some extra avoidance, and this is also the build I tank with. Now I know dropping 5 points out of combat and putting them into opportunity is better damage, but it's early in the phase and I'm going for the extra avoidance. I do recommend going with instant poison on your main hand and mind numbing on your offhand instead of deadly like I'm running here. The reason is you'll have to sap one of the targets, and deadly poison can proc on that target right when you sap it, breaking the sap and making it useless and making the fight harder than it needs to be. But you still want to poison on the target for the increased mutilate damage, and that's where mind numbing poison comes into play. I also recommend bringing a couple of potions just in case the sap gets broken or a pack comes and you end up taking more than you'd like. And if you want to take it up a notch, you could also bring nature protection pots as well to stop some of the chain lightning damage that Revelosh is going to be casting. Alright, let's get into the run. You're going to want to stealth and run past everyone here. Use distract if it's a tight squeeze. You can also hop on the ledge there, and it's safe, but you get popped off on corners sometimes, and it can drop you into a tight squeeze. Either path works fine. I'm doing it without the improved stealth boots, and I'm not on the ledge, and I'm not pulling any mobs. If you're not 40, and I recommend being 40 to do this, you might pull something and the ledge would probably be your friend. Just take it slow and make sure you don't fall off. If you're 40, you don't need to use the ledge, you can just run through this. Once you get to Revelosh, there's a couple paths to look out for. He has one trog that coasts through. Sometimes it's an oracle, sometimes it's a rock chewer, just let it pass before you pull. There is also an ambusher that sprints around, let him pass as well. He is pretty quick, so he kind of sneaks up on you. You can take them in the mix. It's not too bad, but you want to avoid it if you can. Once the coast is clear, you're going to sap the oracle, pop adrenaline rush and blade flurry, pick the first lightning cast and move away from the sapped oracle. Then you get your blade dance running, your slice and dice running, and make sure to kick as many chain lightnings as possible. I try not to use adrenaline rush and evasion if I can help it. The runs are quick and they both won't be off cooldown every run, so rotating them is felt to be most efficient. So one run you go in, you adrenaline rush and blade flurry, the next time you go in, you blade flurry and evasion, maybe pop a potion, and then you rotate them back and forth, and that way you can consistently keep doing runs and you're not waiting. Once he dies, loot, and if you feel like you can kill the rock chewer and the oracle, go for it and save your vanish for the next run. But if you're low or you got the Spaulders, just vanish. The death run back isn't bad. It's not nearly what it was in SFK or Wailing Cavern, so it's not really that big of a deal if you die as long as you're downing Revelosh in the process, because you can just reset the dungeon on the way back, run in and start the run again. But there you go. That's how you solo Revelosh for his Spaulders in Uldaman. Till next time, guys.